Now we get to the roll-up clause. What roll-up does is it literally rolls up groups into subtotals. If you have a simple roll-up, not rolling up on any subset group, you get a grand total. If you roll up on one group within another, you get subtotals for each subset group. This is what roll-up does as an example. It takes all this data, it's summarized it, and it's got a total for Arco Arena, subset total, total for Compact Center, total for the Orpheum, and then a grand total at the end. It's as simple as that. Let's look at examples to describe it graphically. All this query does is says it selects various columns and gives them nice names and makes it readable. And it goes from the act table, joins to the show, joins the venue, joins the price, joins the ticket. So if we go back to the data model, it's joining venue, show, price, ticket. Wasn't there another one? Hold on a second. Act, yeah, it's doing the act as well. So it's basically pulling a lot of data from all these 5 tables here. Just so we get enough data and we get enough information to demonstrate with. So let's run this query. And it wants me to reconnect. And this is the result. It's given me prices in sections for lots and lots of data. Basically all the data in there. Now, how many rows? Let's count all the rows of that exact same query, and it's going to give me quite a few. 730,000, which is, as you remember, is the total count of all the rows in the ticket table. Now we're going to start grouping things. So let's group by the show date, as in the day, month, year, 24-hour clock, minutes. In other words, you could have a show at 8:30 in the evening and a show at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And if we did a count on this one as well, we're going to get much less data. So let's just do that just to demonstrate. We've grouped by show date. Select count star from, and we'll go down here, put a bracket at the end to wrap it nicely, run it again. As you can see, we've only got 60 rows, which is good. So we could go back to here. I'm just trying to make sure we've got a manageable amount of data, given that we're reading almost 1 million rows of data. Those are all the shows, summarized nicely with an average price, average ticket price, just to keep it simple. So now we're actually going to use, as you can see here, group by roll-up and give us a total for each date. Roll up subtotals for each date and give us a grand total at the end of the report. So let's do this. And what does it do? Friday, 14 December. Friday. Okay, I do know what it's doing. All it's doing is giving me a sum total of all dates. Doesn't break it down by dates. You have to have multiple columns to do that. So now let's do group by roll up on the venue, but this time we're not doing average ticket prices, we're doing a total dollar value price for all tickets, for all venues. Group by venue. And actually now we've got a very manageable amount of data. So we can see that the Fox Theatre's got a lot of shows going on, they're making tons of money. And here we're actually doing another summary, but this time we're grouping it by artist. So we can see which artists are making what. These numbers are obviously a bit off the wall. We've got a summary total down there, a grand total for the entire thing. So we did a grand total for venues and a grand total for artists. So now let's do roll-ups for venue and artist. What does that do? That will give me a summary for the venue, again a summary for the venue, summary for the venue, summary for all these venues, and then a total at the end. See, that's the same as that. There's only one entry for Fox Theatre. There's one show we got in our database, and this one up here, this particular Arco Arena has 4 shows. Each show makes that. The total for Arco Arena is that, which gets added to the subtotal. So you can see what the rollup is doing. It's giving you subtotals and grand totals. If we happen to do this, Control C, let's try something else. Control V, let's reverse these two. A and V. So we're going artist by venue instead of venue by artist. Control V, we'll get different totals, and we'll also get a different sort order. It's just that there are obviously many artists to venues, not the other way around, so we get a lot more subtotals. Doesn't really make sense to do it like that. Well, no, we don't get a lot more subtotals. We actually still get the same number of rows, but it's not well sorted because of the one-to-many relationship between act and venue. It should be the other way around. So now I'm going to add the show date into the roll-ups. It gets even more complicated. So now we have a total for Arco Arena Monster Jam, and then a total for Arco Arena Disney on Ice, as you can see, for each show within each venue. And then you'll have a subtotal for the venue after it's gotten subtotals for the artist within each venue, or the act or show within each venue, and then all the way down the report you'll have a subtotal right at the end. As you can see, there's 77 rows here. The previous one had a lot fewer rows. If we go down to the end of it, we only had 24 rows.